The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Cowboys StoryLine with Nick Eatman.
It is time for Cowboys Storyline. It feels like forever since we've been on the air, maybe because it was forever. It was last Wednesday. Here we are, Monday, November 27th, talking about a lot to talk about here. Cowboys and Washington on Thursday. The Cowboys get to 8-3, still 2 games back from the Eagles that keep winning. We can talk about where the Cowboys are in the race here, the NFC East and the NFC playoff picture. You know, Bill Parcells taught us a long time ago, about 20 years ago, nothing matters until you get to Thanksgiving. Well, here we are. We're past Thanksgiving, and even though they've another game on the schedule, it's still, I think we've had enough of a sample size to know kind of who the teams are, who's the best teams, who's playing well. Nobody's playing better really than the Cowboys at this moment, but they, they're about to face a gauntlet of a schedule to really kind of show us where they are, and they're going to play some really good football teams here to finish up the regular season. So we're excited for that. Cowboys are expected to meet with linebacker Shaq Leonard this week. I don't. From what I just found out, they're expected to meet with him. They're still working on the details on the actual day and time. It's been reported that it will be this week. I've seen reports Tuesday, even Wednesday, but they're working on trying to get him in here. Maybe for a physical, I don't know about a workout, but maybe just to kind of see where he is physically, and also what he's thinking long term. So I'm sure the Cowboys are not the only team trying to get Shaq Leonard, but it would be a big win for them if they could get him in, especially considering the linebacker position, the injuries to Leighton Vander Esch, just kind of where they are. That it's going to be a need in the offseason. So if you can get a jump start to that, even if it might cost them a little bit, or will cost them to get him, but it should be a good addition if that happens. So they're going to meet with him this week. All right, 888-855-2297. That is the number to call. You can text at 817-290-3298. Let's go right to the phone lines. You guys have been waiting for a while, so let's go to Dylan in Northport, Florida. Dylan is first up. What's up?
Hey, Nick. How you doing, man?
Good.
Hope you had a good Thanksgiving.
I did. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks, dude. Just I'm waiting for this Philly or other shoe to drop. Is it coming or what?
Oh, for Philly?
For Philly?
Well, I mean, pick up, go in there and take their shoes off yourselves. I mean, that's what they have to do. Just go beat them. I mean, no one else is going to do it. I mean, this is a good team. This is the best team in the NFL. So they're acting like it. I mean, we can sit here and say they're lucky if they want, but I mean, you're 10-1, so I don't know what else to say. They're good, but you're gonna have to do it yourself. Go in there and beat them.
So Cowboys been so good at home, so it's just frustrating to watch. You're trying to get this home field in the playoffs, and it's not going to happen at this point now. No. So it's just tough to watch. But this is a weird analogy, so stick with. Have you seen the movie Avatar?
No.
Oh,
I'm sorry. All
right. Well, basically, there's these alien creatures, right? These dudes, they ride the horses and these flying creatures, and they have to sync with those creatures with like this biology thing, right?
Okay.
Anyways, where I'm going is that's a perfect kind of analogy for how the season's gone for the Cowboys. First half of the season, before the bye, they're kind of fighting, trying to figure out who they are on offense. They're not really throwing the ball that well. They're not running the ball well. And now after the bye week, they've synced up. They made that connection, right? And now it's like Mike McCarthy and this offense. They're clicking on all cylinders. They're starting to run the ball well. They're getting more of these outside run plays. You see him copying kind of some of the other teams in the league with these straight toss backs and creative running plays. You're getting, guys like Turpin involved more and more each week. Just really good to see. They haven't given up a sack in like 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. Shout out to the O-line and Tony Pollard. He's pass blocking very well. And then The other thing you got here is Dak Prescott. I mean, he ranks first in like all passing categories since the bye week: passing yards, touchdowns, no interceptions, passer rating. So he's killing it. But yeah, man, I'm excited to see this gauntlet they got coming up. Really going to mean a lot to see where we're at, and hopefully we take that 5 seed and do some damage here in the playoffs. So thanks, man.
All right, thank you. I haven't seen that movie. I'm sure a lot of people have though, and understand that analogy. You kind of lost me with the biology part. I was kind of out. So sorry. That's not really my type of movie. But I know a lot of people do like it, and I'm always good for a good analogy. I mean, so that I bet you that was a good one. I'm sorry I missed it there. But yeah, I mean, it's they are syncing up right now. They seem to be playing their best football. And you can't worry about what the schedule has been. I mean, it is what it is. All you can do is beat them, beat these teams pretty soundly. They've done that. They're going to get, Seattle coming in here. I think Seattle is okay. They're pretty good. They're 6-5. So they have a winning record now. You hope that after, Friday comes, they won't have a winning record. But I'm sure that they'll come in here ready to go. Seattle's got a very tough schedule coming up too. They got the Cowboys, they got the Eagles and 49ers again. So yeah, I think we're kind of seeing who they are a little bit. I think they're maybe above average team, just like their record suggests. All right, let's go to Anthony in Miami, Florida. What's up, Anthony? How you doing?
What's going on? Hey man, I'm doing great, man. How are you, man? How was your holiday?
It was great. Ready to be back, though. Ready to get going here and see what you guys have. What do you have to say?
Okay. I'm just watching movies. I'm going to talk a little Cowboys, but I'm watching some Westerns, man. See if you're familiar. Tombstone, some of my best Westerns. Tombstone, the Loretta Lynn story. I love that movie. And Legends of the Fall. Okay. So I'm catching up on some things.
I was always a fan of Young Guns. That was the one I liked.
Young Guns, 1 and 2, that's good.
Yeah, definitely more 1 than 2, but that's usually the way it goes, except for Rocky. But for the most part, yeah. What do you got, Anthony?
What I got, man. Look, I was just sitting with some friends, and we're making some analogies, and of course the Philadelphia thing came up about people rooting. Whatever for losses, and I'm not a fan of that. I don't, you beat people head to head. I don't, and then when you meet up, it's what it is. I don't care who they play and what they do until the Cowboys play them, But I will say this: one thing about what I saw was, like 2020. I'm making a comparison, like when Jimmy came, and then when our coach now McCaffrey came. 2020 crazy year. We didn't do anything. We were laughing stock on defense. Remember that? And this man, his last couple of years, seemed to, people were doubting him. He got rid of the one person they thought, hey, man, let's get this guy out of here because you're making our players mad on defense and all that, which was Nolan or whatever. And I got a real defensive guy in here. And I'm comparing it to Jimmy, just kind of, the first 89, terrible. And those 2 years right there before the championship season, we're kind of facing that again with these 2 years now, 21-22, right? Heartbreaking losses against the 49ers and whatnot. Man, we're right on the doorsteps. What I see the Cowboys got to do is 2 things, and I've said it on shows, whatever. Mindset and discipline. Get your mindset right, man, and you have to be disciplined. You know what bothers me about the Cowboys that I see that's a possibility of happening, Nick? I see a guy like Sam Williams. I don't want to call him a Kevin Joseph second round and what was the other second round, Gregory. I don't want to call him that, but he has potential. I don't see some off the field stuff, but I see the knucklehead stuff. And every game he seems to get some stuff. I don't want games to come down to a guy like Sam Williams, and I'm just going to point him out, making bonehead mistakes. Yeah, we did the thing against Philly with offsides, jumping false starts, this and that, misreads. But you don't want the games to come down to that. So get your mindset right and get the discipline you're going to need to get on this run, man. Then when you meet up against a 49ers maybe who beat the brakes off of us, let's just call it what it was. Or the Eagles, who everybody says sneaking by and getting luck. No, it's not luck. All right. Do what you got to do and beat these teams, man, when you get the opportunity to stay disciplined, Cowboys, and you'll have the opportunity to show what you got, man, and make this run for the Super Bowl. And that's what I got, man.
All right. Sounds good. Appreciate the call. Yeah, I don't agree with the. I mean, I don't think the Eagles are, it's just luck. I think that they're really good. I mean, they're making their own luck a little bit. But yeah, I mean, they've got some fortunate plays that have happened for them, and the penalty situation for them seems it's unique. They don't have a lot of penalties, but even though you kind of see them, you see some horse collars. I see false start every snap, honestly, but they don't call that on them. But they're great. They've got the MVP of the league right now. I think if that was the vote, even though it's not the case, they actually play the whole season. This isn't the Heisman, but I think Hurts is playing better than anybody right now. So he's playing great. But you're right about the Cowboys and the mindset and the discipline. And we don't want to call Sam Williams out, but he has a lot of penalties. I mean, he doesn't play a whole lot to be ranked second on the team or tied for second in penalties. I mean, that's the issue. I mean, he comes in here now. He's had 4 sacks. He makes some difference at times, but he also has some penalties that have got to be cleaned up for sure. All right, let's go to Joe. He's in Washington, the state of Washington. What's up?
Hey, Nick. Good morning, man.
Good morning.
Show.
What side were you on Saturday or last week? Were you on the purple side or the white side of the? Was it called the Apple Cup, or do you care at all?
I don't care at all.
Don't care at all. Okay, let's move on then.
I don't care about that.
Let's move on.
I'll tell you what, Sam, I'm on this week. It's going to be a big game for us, man. I'll just love that win, so I'll enjoy the rest of my week this week if we win. And I just want to talk about that defense. Could we just imagine what it'd be if we still had Diggs out there?
Yeah.
I mean, we have Stephon for, I want to say maybe this year. I don't see him coming back again, but I guess everything happens for a reason, right? We see what we got in Bland. Now he comes back next year, and we got our corners, right?
Should be, yeah. You should be good at corner. You're good right now at corner, even without Diggs. I mean, they're playing great, but yeah. I think the cornerback position. I think you'll still draft one. I don't know what Jordan Lewis's future will be. He may not be back next year, but I'm sure you're going to get more cornerback help. But Stephon Gilmore may want to stay. I mean, you may have a chance to bring them back. But yeah, you should be in good shape at corner.
And I'll tell you what, this week, Gino's gonna. I see him throwing a good 2 up in the air for us to get, and we'll see who comes down with them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. I appreciate. Thanks for the call, Joe, and probably surrounded by a lot of Seahawks fans up there. So obviously a big game for him. But yeah, I mean, no one's really staying away from Deron Bland. I mean, they're still throwing at him and having some success throwing it to him until you don't. I mean, it's like playing with fire. It seems like he's going to get one. He'll give up some plays, but he's gonna get one and then also take it to the house. And obviously it's nothing we've ever seen before. No one has. I mean, 5 interceptions for touchdowns in one season is ridiculous. And the stat that I think is even bigger than that. I mean, because obviously it's an NFL record. No one's done it. 5 in one season. But this guy just got here. And he is the Cowboys' all-time leader in interception returns for touchdowns. I mean, nobody in the history of the Cowboys, guys that have done it, that played 12, 15 seasons, Mel Renfro and Dennis Thurman and Dexter Coakley both had 4. I mean, the greatest cornerback. I mean, Everson Walls never got 1. Dion had a couple here. He had 9 overall, but he had 2 here. I mean, it's just amazing that on the all-time leader of interception returns for touchdowns, it's Deron Bland. That's crazy. Anyways, all right, keep going here. Let's go to James. He's in Midland, Texas. Pastor James.
Hey, Nick, how's it going today?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing well. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving, and I enjoyed the game. I'm really happy with what I'm seeing from Terrence Steele and the improvement from out of Mozzie. That defensive line is really playing well. But one thing I wanted to bring up is, there's been a lot of discussion about Kellen Moore and changing from the OC and all that, but you could tell from the game last night that there is a difference, because if you notice how he had the hurry up offense going real fast, and it was a quick 3 and out, then the defense had to come back out there. I'm just glad that, in this season, when the Cowboys are not having to deal with that, and I just think that everybody is hitting on all cylinders right now. Of course, there's still a little problem with penalties and all, but I think, that's still improved, and we just need to just keep going and, moving forward with the momentum that we have right now, because, the Eagles are looking like they're the cream of the crop, and they're just finding ways to win. But what we need to do is just handle our business and not, I'm glad we haven't been playing with our food. We've been beating these teams the way they need to be beat.
Right.
And I just hope that things can continue moving forward that way. And I want to get your idea on what you think about the OC situation.
Okay. Thanks for the call, James. I think the Chargers are obviously struggling over there. So, Kellen Moore's doing some. He was doing some good things, but I think that overall, they're not missing him. If that's what we're saying here, they seem to be clicking a lot better here. And it took a little bit of time, just like it might take some time there. Let's be honest about it here. If we're gonna say, well, it took a little bit for McCarthy and them, now they're rolling, now they're doing some good things in the red zone. They kind of have things clicking. They're getting everyone involved. It might take some time for the Chargers to do that too. I don't know. We don't cover them. We've seen them once. We know they have some weapons over there, but they don't seem to be. It's not clicking for them at the moment. So, but that's. I hate to say it. That's their problem. That's not what's going on here. What's happening here is that McCarthy's figuring out ways to get everyone involved. We're starting to see a lot more out of Ferguson. We're starting to see some out of Brandon Cooks. Gallup keeps kind of doing his thing. Turpin is the guy that we're really seeing a lot more from him, and I think that's perfect, because that's a guy that I was saying that all last year. And maybe he wasn't ready. Turpin wasn't ready to kind of take that next level. But he seems like he's a difference maker. I know he is on offense for sure. And you're getting your tight ends going. You're getting another back. They're getting Rico Dowdle involved, and I think it's lighting the fire a little bit under Pollard. I think he's running the ball better. But really, more than anything, Dak is Dak. Dak's playing out of his mind. But this offensive line's just on another level, and that's the best part. Ironic is they gave up a sack that lost the game, really, against the Eagles. They gave up that sack from the 11-yard line all the way back to the 20 late in the game. That probably lost them the game. They haven't given up a sack since. Now, I know they haven't faced the Eagles. The Eagles are a team like that. But in 3 games, the Giants and obviously Washington, Carolina, to not give up a sack in those 3 games is pretty impressive. So that's a good thing. What's happening there? All right, let's go to. We have a text message question here from a 323 number. It says, "Do you believe Gilmore can have some influence in Shaq Leonard coming to the Cowboys?" That would just be a guess. I don't know. I think Gilmore played like 1 year, maybe 2, with the Colts. So. Maybe. You can say that, but that doesn't always mean everyone's friends and they hang out. So maybe they didn't like each other. I have no idea. About that. If they have a good connection, then sure. But I think at the end of the day, these players know everybody. You have a player that you've played with either in college or your rookie year or maybe even high school, or you went to a camp. They know everybody. You just look at the end of a game to see all these connections these guys have. That doesn't mean you're going to necessarily sign there. It has to be the right situation. So maybe it helps. I know like Cooks and Gilmore, they both got traded here. They had a good relationship, a really good friendship. So if it's something like that, then sure. If there is a friendship there, I don't know about it. I just know that they were teammates for a little bit. All right. Let's go to Tim. He's in Grapevine, Texas. What's up, Tim?
Hey, Nick. Long-time caller, first-time listener. No, I'm just kidding.
No. I was like, first time this week. First time this week you've called. Hey. That's fine. I was like, don't confuse me here on a Monday now. Come on now.
It's been a while since I talked to you.
You just want the ding, don't you? That's what you want. You just want it. We give it to you. We give it to you. There you go. You got it. All right.
Oh, there we go. Hey, I'll take what I can get these days.
All right.
No, the last Cowboys player to win Defensive Player of the Year was 46 years ago, Harvey Martin. And he's the only one to ever win it. And if somebody would have told you back in training camp, hey, by the way, the Cowboys are going to have a player this year that wins Defensive Player of the Year, who are you thinking?
11.
You're thinking 11. Everybody's thinking that. So
I still think that. Honestly, I'm telling you, I still think that. I still believe that. But he's not going to happen. But I mean, do I think he is the best player on this team, offense or defense? He is the best player on the team. Micah Parsons, hands down, the best player on this team.
I agree.
And most people do. But
he shouldn't be penalized for being so versatile, but we have to move him around so much.
Right.
The linebacker or whatnot, he shouldn't be penalized for that, but he will because people value statistics so much.
Facts. Yeah.
And that's just the way it is. But with Myles Garrett, his shoulder injury, if Deron Bland continues his level of play, even if he doesn't return any more touchdowns or picks for touchdowns, I mean, I think he's got to be the favorite. And I think it's one of the best stories I've ever seen in football.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about the kid, Sacramento State
unbelievable
to Fresno State, 5th round. I mean, Dan Quinn and the gang and Will McClay, whoever else, all the scouts, they deserve credit. I mean, they saw something in the kid. He comes in second year playing like this. I've never seen anything like it. I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
The locker room post game, man, I had tears in my eyes watching that. That was beautiful.
He's the guy that you have to root for. I mean, just listen to the interviews. Nothing's changed. He's kind of embarrassed by this. It's not really his style. To play the position that he plays, think about who you have to play against. To have the mindset you have to be great at cornerback in the NFL, but then to be the type of person that he is off the field, it's you just don't see it. Like usually you don't have those two personalities together, and it's refreshing. It really is. But
it really is. And then the one thing I wanted to point out right quick, so everybody's up in arms and thinking about the division and home field advantage, and I get it. But if you look at the playoff picture, if it started tomorrow, the playoffs, we would play at Atlanta, which anybody would take that, and then we would, in all likelihood, play in Philadelphia, who I think we match up with this year quite well. So, I mean, it's not the end of the world if we don't get home field advantage or win the division. I just care about health and staying hot, and I'll hang up. Thank you.
Yep, it's the same as last year. The South isn't very good, and so if you're the 5th seed, you're going to go play. They played Tampa, and they rolled through them. And don't forget, I mean, all you need is the 7 or the 6 to beat the 2 or the 3, which happened. The Giants beat Minnesota. So it happens where you don't have to necessarily go to the number 1 seed right off the bat. But my point is that if that's the best team, if that's who you have to go, then just go beat them. Just go up there and beat them. You were right there on the doorstep to beat them. A lot of things kind of went their way. I mean, I can tell you this: if the Eagles fumble 3 times against the Cowboys again, they're not going to get them all. I don't think, maybe, but I just think you have to. This is the situation. It is what it is. You got to go win. Now going back to what Deron Bland, I've sort of changed my tune a little bit just by thinking of what the award is, because think of it like this. See, I think I'm getting lost in the defensive player of the year, that's the defensive position. That's the MVP. Are you the best defensive player? No, probably not. Not the best on his own team. But think about from MVP and offensive player of the year. Think about what happens there. MVP is usually the quarterback that's leading the team. The best is Brady or Mahomes or whatever. The offensive player of the year could be a receiver. It could be somebody that's got stats that you just can't ignore. You just can't ignore this type of production. I know Marshall Faulk used to get it, but then they gave the MVP to Warner. Well, that's going way back. But sometimes player of the year is just the guy that's just doing stuff that you just can't ignore. And that's what's happening here with Deron Bland. I mean, he's given up some plays, but he keeps getting tested, and he has if he has 5 interceptions for touchdowns, 7 picks. If he can get couple more interceptions, maybe if you get into 10 interceptions. I know Diggs did a couple of years ago, 11 interceptions. I don't remember him even being in the discussion for that because I think Parsons was. So sometimes you kind of, they kind of mix each other up a little bit. Let's go to one more phone call. Chris, let's put the guy on the line. My computer froze up. Who we got?
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing?
Jason.
This is Jason. All right. Are you first-time caller from Philly?
Yeah.
What's up, man?
Call from Philly. What's up, man? It's crazy. It's kind of surreal to talk to you right now because I've been watching you for years, man.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. And I'm proud of you, man. I'm really, congratulations on your new show. It's nice to just hear you talk because a lot of times when you were on the other shows, not to knock any of the guys because I love all you guys, but it's nice to just hear you talk because sometimes you get cut off or your point wouldn't be taken properly, and it's good to just see you flow in your own environment, man. So awesome.
Well, thank you. I do. I like to talk, and I like to be a team player as well.
Yeah.
And now I sit in the room, and if these other three, mics want to talk, they can, but they never do. So it's just me. So it's all right. No,
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I do miss it a little bit. I do miss kind of the interaction and stuff, but I get it with you guys. And you guys are very, very knowledgeable, and you know what's going on, and you have great points and great, analysis and perspectives that sometimes I don't even think about. We get kind of caught up sometimes inside the building, and so to get a fresh take on some things from the outside is refreshing as well, which is what you have to be a Cowboy fan in Philly.
Yeah. Oh geez. Oh my God, Nick. You have I was going to say you have no idea, but you probably do. From the outside, you can imagine it's definitely. It's kind of like working in the trenches, man. Like in enemy territory, and I know it's just football. There's a lot more serious things happening in the world, but being a Cowboys fan for my entire life, I'm 42 years old, and the last time I saw the Cowboys win a Super Bowl was, obviously in the 90s with Emmitt Smith and stuff like that, and I was probably 13, 14 years old, and just being here now. Regardless of whether I'm one of those like even kill, calm Cowboys fans, I still get like overran and, people still kind of treat me like an outsider. But, I just wanted to say a couple of things, man. First of all, when Diggs went down, I'm probably echoing a lot of thoughts here, but I actually wasn't too concerned because I saw the up-and-coming star in Deron Bland. And I'm really, really proud and glad that we have him on our team. And I think he's only going to get better. And I'm really excited to see what this defense is going to look like with Diggs back and all that stuff going forward. I think I feel something different about this year, Nick. And I'm not one of those Cowboys fans that sit back and say we're going to go to the Super Bowl every year. I'm way too rational for that. I look at the rest of the league and I look at what we're doing right now. I like what McCarthy is doing. I like what the team is doing. I definitely love our defensive coordinator. To me, him and McCarthy are like interchangeable in my mind. But the main thing is, I would just love to see us get over the hump just one time, just at least get to the dance, man, because, I just feel like we've had a lot of great talent over the years, and I hated to see Witten and Romo not get it. And I want Dak to get it. I want a lot of these guys to get it. I want the fan base to get it. And you know what? I don't even care, man, waiting another 10 years. It makes no difference after that. But I just want us to see our team get their just desserts. And, I feel like we're on our way. And I agree with you 100%. We have to beat Philly, man. We have to beat them when it matters.
Right.
Not just beat them. We have to beat them when it matters. If we have to see them 3 times this year, that's obviously a good thing, I believe.
Beat them the third time.
Exactly. Beat them the third time, man.
Yeah.
I really don't care about the first seed.
Yeah.
But, I care about us getting to a meaningful game.
There you go. All right.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for calling, Jason. Not easy being a Cowboy fan over there in Philly, but you got a good perspective. So appreciate the call. Call back for sure. All right, we're going to go to break right here on Cowboy Storyline. When we come back, we got some more calls and texts to read. Be right back on Storyline.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure. It's not complicated.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Cowboys fans, after that move, we've just coined the term Rowdy Replay. Let's roll back the tape.
Okay, there's our mascot Rowdy cheering on the boys. And now he's on his phone, on his Bank of America mobile banking app?
Staying on top of his finances with his virtual financial assistant, Erica.
Bank of America's digital tools are so impressive. Cowboys fans just can't stop banking. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/can't stop banking.
Erica is only available in the English language. You must download the latest version of the mobile banking app, only available on select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. Member FDIC.
Welcome back into Dear Doctor, the show where I answer life's questions with an ice-cold can of Dr. Pepper. Sheila, let's hear from our next caller, would you?
Dear Doctor, my friend supported me during a tough time, but what's the right gift that says, thanks for being a shoulder to cry on?
Okay, this one's easy. I say give her a delicious Dr. Pepper. Nothing says, thanks, girl, better than a one-of-a-kind soda. Yes, any Dr. Pepper flavor will do. Now, just a reminder that I don't need to be a real doctor to know that Dr. Pepper is the one you deserve.
They say champions are remembered, but legends are never forgotten. United Ag and Turf offers a winning lineup of John Deere equipment built to tackle any challenge on and off the field. Legendary John Deere tractors, combines, residential mowers, commercial mowers, compact construction equipment, Gator utility vehicles, and a full line of golf and sports turf equipment. United Ag and Turf, the official Ag and Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com to find a location near you. Back to Cowboys Storyline.
All right, we've got a few more minutes here on Cowboys Storyline, maybe 15 or so. Let's go right to it. We've got another text message here from Calvin. He's in Sacramento, California. He said, how big is Bland's record-setting pick six? Is the offensive line problems fixed? They haven't faced the most dominant pass rushers, but they haven't given up a sack in 3 straight games. Some of that is the offensive line. Some of it's just Dak playing really well and the offense in sync of knowing where everyone is going to be. It's not like he hasn't been pressured in 3 games. He has to move in the pocket. He's trusting everyone. He's finding, a Schoonmaker or Ferguson or Rico Dowdle in the flat. I mean, it's everything. The offensive line is playing really well. But from a pass blocking standpoint, I don't think the running game is just mauling people, but they're doing a pretty good job. They're running the ball into the end zone at times, so doing a nice job, for sure. All right, let's go to the callers. Steve, he's in Washington State. Another one from Washington. What's up, man?
Conspiracy theory, Steve.
All right, what do you got?
State.
You got something?
I got 16-time caller today.
Okay. Ding.
Finally got through.
There you go.
Thank you. I just got a couple comments. One is the defense on Philly, both offense and defense for Philly. I hate Philly, but they have been getting so friggin' lucky. I can't believe it. That and skill, but major luck, as well as referee calls coming their way. What have they won, like 3 or 4 games now in overtime this year?
They've been down. I think they've been down at halftime 4 straight weeks. Is that right? Since the Cowboy game.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
And the other comment was the way Josh Allen's playing, I could see Ron Bland probably getting a couple of pick sixes on him coming up.
Yeah, he's tough. Yeah, he played well, but he throws picks, but he also
he does.
He's pretty good too. So
isn't he probably leading the league in picks right now?
I think so. Yeah, he's up there. Him and the quarterback for Carolina.
Yeah, like 8 straight games in a row with a pick.
Yeah,
something like that.
But
anyway, I'll hang up and listen.
All right.
I got to hang up before Jerry Jones traces my call.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we don't want that happening, or do we? The interesting, AJ Brown. Had 2 plays yesterday where one of them was both of them were knocked out. Two dropped passes by AJ Brown. Did I say Antonio? AJ Brown. 2 passes that he dropped won the game for the Eagles. Their best receiver dropped 2 passes, and I think that helped them win the game because that pass right before the field goal, it got knocked out of his hand. It was going to be a 2-yard gain, and probably take a few more seconds off the clock. And then they have to rush onto the field. It's a left hash kick. I think that, having a little bit of time probably helped them. Who knows what rushing onto the field to kick a 57-yard field goal would have done. I think that would have been better for the Bills if he would have caught that pass and then brought him down. And then, of course, in overtime, it was close. I can't believe they didn't review it a little bit more. Looks like he caught it to me. He had it tucked. But whatever. That was a very fortunate drop. So I think 2 drop passes by their best receiver. How weird is that to say? But that's pretty much the case. All right, let's go to Bruce. He's in Houston. What's up?
Hey, Nick. Thanks for taking my call.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good.
I'm proud of our teams. In my opinion, they've done what they ought to have done against these lesser teams, so to speak. Even though, you know how Washington plays us. My God, they can be 0-15 and play like world beaters. It always, growing up, it seemed like everybody, when they played Dallas, that was their Super Bowl.
Right.
If Dallas can. These next 5 games is going to be crucial, of course.
Right.
I don't expect them to go undefeated. Could they? Yes. I hope they would, but I'm realistic, too, that Buffalo game and Miami away are going to be tough. I like our chances at home, and it begins this Thursday with Seattle. But these next 5 teams are all playoff teams. We're going to find out even more about our football team. Right. And at the very least, it's going to prepare them for the playoffs. Because it looks like Philly's going to win the division, so we're going to be at best, 5th seed?
Probably.
So if that's the case, well then, then we're going to be playing like we did last year, like against Tampa Bay, probably the winner of the South Division, which would be, I guess, the Saints right now. I'm not sure, but one of those teams, which we should win, which means we'll be going to either San Francisco or Philadelphia the second round. And we're going to have to beat them anyway in their play. Right. For this team to be recognized, I want this team to at least get to the championship game. I'd feel that would be a success compared to last year and the other years. But and I think our running backs, both of them, Pollard and Dow, both have been playing really, really good these last 2 games. I hope to see it against better defenses, but they're running harder. The offensive line, as you alluded to already, seem to be playing better. They're healthy and cohesive, and of course, Dak is MVP, but let's see him do it against, I want him to shut up Stephen A. Smith so bad and where they have no choice but to give him our due. But thanks for taking my call, and have a good week, Rick.
All right, thank you. I don't know if you can shut him up. I think that's part of the deal. It's part of the contract that he signed. Never shut up. Just keep talking. And, if he keeps talking, people will keep listening. And that's okay. That's, I respect what he does, knowing what his role is. As I've said it before, he's the rock of those talk shows. You know what I mean? I don't know about the rock. He's probably a little bit more of the heel, actually. Whoever that is would be. But anyways, all right, good stuff as always, Bruce. Let's move on to Nathan. He's in Washington State. What's going on here? What's up with the state of Washington? It's 8:40 in the morning over there. Is it Seahawks week? Is that what's going on?
Well, yeah, when we're up at 7 to watch the early Talking Cowboys show, we can watch everything all the way through the day early in the morning. It's nice.
Are you first-time caller?
Not first-time caller, first time getting through.
Okay. All right. Well, then that counts. there you go. Thanks for being persistent. Appreciate that. All right. What do you got on your mind, Nathan?
Well, I just wanted to comment on something that I've noticed just over the last couple of years. Being in Washington, I don't ever get to go to the Cowboys games at home. Mm-hmm. And since they built that beautiful stadium there, it hasn't really been a home crowd. I've noticed a lot of traveling teams will take over that stadium, even though the Cowboys are hosted.
Yep.
The last couple of years, that has completely flipped on its head. And it's exciting to see our home crowd actually standing up for their house.
Yep. It's been a change for sure. Now you also got to remember too, like every team. I mean, there are some teams that are going to come in here and have a lot of fans. I mean, that's just the way it is. There's just too many tickets and too many ways to buy the tickets not to do that. Yeah, I mean, it's a great place to go to a game because two things is that you can get into the airport easily, and it's not going to be a bad weather game. Not at all. So go here. It's going to be a nice, fun atmosphere. And you see opposing teams with a lot of fan base, especially if they don't play here often, they will fill it up. I mean, or not fill it up, but you're going to have Pittsburgh comes in here, you'll see the towels. Kansas City, San Francisco, it happens. It happens. But it's not happening as much as it used to. What now?
But even this week with Seattle, I'm sure they're going to have a nice fan base there in Dallas, but the home crowd seems to be overwhelming them more lately than they have in the past.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been so proud of to see is finally our home stand is becoming a real home crowd.
Yep. It's been good. So if Seattle wants to stand out, those fans are going to have to wear those highlighters because, from what I've heard, Seattle is wearing their throwback uniforms from the 80s and early 90s, which I think is cool. So that'll be kind of cool to see them. I'm always a fan of that.
Agreed. I like those old school uniforms.
Yeah, they're good. So
I don't think they stand a chance in this game, by the way. If you just look at everything across the board, they've got talent, but they're running into a buzzsaw.
Yeah, I agree.
I was telling my family last week when we were watching Seattle getting blown out by San Francisco on Thanksgiving night, you'd think this is bad. Wait till next week when they go to Dallas. Mm-hmm. That was a home game.
Yeah, which I would imagine 49ers fans were up there in Seattle as well. But it'll be a tough challenge. I mean, they have some receivers that you have to be ready for, but that's kind of what the Cowboys are getting ready for, in Philadelphia, and then maybe San Francisco again. These having 2 or 3 really good receivers, and I think Seattle brings that. So,
oh yeah. It's going to be exciting and a good game.
Good stuff. All right. Well, anything else?
Nick, appreciate it. No, thank you for having me on, and I'll continue to watch.
All right. Have a good one. All right. We got a few more minutes here. I think we have an open phone line or two, 888-855-2297, if you want to jump on that quickly. But a lot of good stuff here today. And, the Cowboys and Seahawks, I mean, that is the game. That's the one to focus on. Obviously, right now, it's the next game. I threw this out, I guess, on the radio last week. I mean, the Cowboys have not beaten a team with a winning record. Not this year. Right now, Seattle's 6-5. So does that count if you beat Seattle? They have a winning record, and then you beat them, and then they don't. So anymore. That's what the plan is to be. I mean, I guess you could make the case. I mean, they beat the Jets when they were 1-0, and they had a winning record, and then you ended that for them, and then they haven't recovered since then. But the Cowboys haven't beaten anybody with a winning record, and that stuff doesn't really matter right now. It's not college football. You don't have to impress any the pollers or anybody else committee. You don't have to do that. You just have to go win your game. But I think everyone's already thinking, what does any of this mean for the playoffs? Are they a good team? And you can't really prove that until you get to that point in the season. So that's kind of where they are. But this will be a great test for the Cowboys, and I said it right after they lost to the Eagles. They were 5-3, and I said that they will be 10-3. They will be 10-3, and here they are. They're 8-3, and then now the two toughest games. It gets a little tougher every time. I thought the Giants. I mean, think about it. Every game has been a little bit tougher as far as what the matchup is. The first one right out of the bat, you got the Giants at home. You've already crushed them. Go beat them. Then the next one is on the road where you've struggled a little bit. Don't let another Arizona thing happen. Go beat Carolina. Boom. Now you got a short week. You got Washington coming in. Washington can play it tough. We've seen it before. You got to go win that game. Now Seattle's a little bit better. Obviously, Philly's the best in the league. So to get to 10-3, it's getting a little bit tougher and tougher, even though it doesn't show that on the scores because the Cowboys are just rolling through. But I would imagine these next two will be tough. Let's go to a text question here. How good are our chances of signing Shaq Leonard? Is the extra rest for Tyron Smith paying dividends? Something. If it's that, I mean, probably he's playing well. He's playing really well. And not everybody can do that. Not everyone can just not practice. But I think when you played as long as he has, he understands what they're trying to do, understands the concepts. He's a left tackle. I mean, for the most part, he's getting their best pass rusher. And I think the extra time. But let's give him some credit. Short week, went out there, did his job, did a really nice job. And he's played very well this year. So, I don't know who's going to be the comeback player of the year. It's always an injury and all that, but I mean, from the Cowboys, what he's been able to do, I know he played some last year, but what he's been able to do has been amazing this year. Look at 2 callers we got to get to here in the next few minutes, so we're going to speed through them here. Leon in Florida. Leon is up. What's up?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I just wanted to say I'm making an observation, but I want to hear what you have to say about it. I feel like this team is not like as the teams in time past that are taking the supposed to be ball games for granted, and that there's like a different feeling, like they're respecting every team that they're playing, and they're not playing at their level, but they're playing above them. What do you think? Thanks for listening.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I mean, they you got to give them credit for that. They are not necessarily playing to that level, and if you want, and they're either playing way above it, they're basically kicking these teams' asses. Is what's happening. And you go back to the first game, the Cardinals game. But what was the level? I mean, their offensive line was not the same. This is not the offensive line. I mean, can you even name the guys they were playing on the offensive line? I mean, it was Bass and Hoffman and Edoga. I mean, that's not what we're seeing right now. And I think it was the first game Tyler Smith had played all season, and Steele was still coming. None of those 5 guys, all 5 positions are better than it was that Cardinals game. But my point is that when you keep suffering injuries to one position, you are going to neutralize yourself, and you're going to get down to that level. So that's pretty much where they were. And I think, but you got to give them credit though. They're taking the challenge, and they're taking team's best shots here, and they're winning. But like we said all show, it's about to get a lot tougher, and it starts Thursday. All right, let's go to one more caller here. Diego in the Bronx. What's up, man? How are you doing?
Hey, doing good, man. I've been listening to you guys for a while, and I'm a big-time Cowboys fan.
There you go.
I've been a long-time Cowboys fan since, 2006?
Okay.
But yeah, I'm a guy who's I just like to enjoy the ride, and the up and downs is fine with me. But I'm just real focused on just getting into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Getting past the first and the second round, because I'm pretty sure that it's going to happen this year. Quite confident that it's going to happen. But so I'm just enjoying the ride, and I just wanted to call and say,
all right,
you're doing a great job, and keep up the good work.
All right, man, appreciate it. Thank you for calling. I love it. Enjoying the ride, but we're also looking to see what's down the road, and there's nothing wrong with that. I always kind of joke with that a little bit about the people that say, hey, just take it one game at a time, but they're looking ahead. But that's okay. I mean, that's kind of what it is. You can enjoy the ride, but also of figuring out where the destination is and where you want to go. Enjoying it you can't speed up the process, but at the same time, every game that happens just kind of gets everyone a little bit more excited about where this team could be. And I'm right there with it. I think what I know is this: the Cowboys are going to be in the playoffs, and they're going to be in the fourth quarter, probably on the road in a really, really tough game. It's going to be a tough game. It's probably going to be Philly or San Francisco. There'll be about 6-7 minutes to go, and it's right there to go make the play. That's what I think is going to happen. And do they make it or do they not? That's what it'll come down to. I think this team is good enough to win. I think they're good enough to beat any of those teams, but they have to do it. You have to do it. You can't. This is no, this all paper stuff. This is the paper. I mean, this is where they are on paper. That's out the window when you get to the playoffs. You have to go do it. I think they're good enough to go do it, but you have to prove us. You have to prove that they can go do it. Prove to us that they can. All right, we will be back tomorrow on Cowboys Storyline. This has been a good one. So for Chris Beam, I'm Nick Eatman. We'll see you tomorrow on Cowboys Storyline.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!